it this way. All right, guys. So sometimes, technology and people kind of mess things up. So for whatever it's worth, I know I got a few parts here. So this is part two, improv two, with my man Michael Ja White. So we were talking about back in the days, which is kind of cool, but I want to talk about some present stuff. Yo, what's up with the hair, man? What's going on? You using me here?
Well, hey, man, COVID, man. I ain't going to the barber shop, so they have my hair grow, so that I got it all twisted up, man. So, hey, it's kind of low maintenance.
That's not for a party. So it's not for a party.
Nope. It's this low maintenance, different look, that type of thing.
I hear you. Well, it's interesting because I don't think I've ever seen you like that.
No, I've never seen me
cool.
like that either. My hair was getting long. It was like, hey, there's something to do with it. I can't believe how fast your hair grows when it's twisted up like this, though. It's crazy. I don't get it.
Hey, so Mike, of all the things that you has Black Diamond been the most successful? Like, I see the logo back then, or the cartoon thing was freaking dope, and it's awesome because of all things. I know most people didn't expect for you to be a funny dude, It's hardcore guy from New York area, going out there doing some comedy, and Black Dynamite was off the hook.
Well, people who really know me, think about it, man. You know me for years. Am I serious? No, I'm really
far from it.
Yeah, so I know there's a persona when you fight or whatever. People think about, I don't know. They have their assigned image of you, but if you lined up everything I've done in my career, I've done more comedy than anything else. People, it's hard to believe, but
Jerry
that's
Springer all the way down, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of comedic stuff that I did. Like for that show, For Better or Worse, that was 6 seasons of me being the lead in a sitcom. That's like 150 something episodes.
Again, most people wouldn't anticipate, and that's one of the things. See, for whatever it's worth. And I'm just going back to a personal experience with you because you said something to me about 4 years ago already. It might have been about 4 years. It'll be 4 years soon because my brother was still alive. We're out in Atlantic City, and I was doing my own antics. Most people would think I'm serious, but whoever knows me, they know I'm thinking, I'm gonna snap on everybody. Everyone gets it. No one gets a pass. And man, what you said to me really made a world of a difference to me because you asked me the question about me and the acting. And I gave you my rebuttal. And then you said to me, well, there is a lot of money involved in it, but you said to me this too, man, you can still do it. I'm like, huh? You can do it, man. My old fat ass. But I thought that you was talking about some like getting in shape. I didn't think you were talking about my comedy. Then I did a video doing the comedy, and I sent that to you. You just said that I was crazy when I was doing my CC character.
Well, see, the thing is,
so
yeah, it's about the character that you already are. The character that you are, if you went out for movies and things like that, you would get cast because you have your characteristics, they come across very well. So my thing was, if that was something that you was interested in, that's something I felt that you could do. But you gotta really wanna do it because there's people who will give their left arm for that opportunity. For you, it would be easier than most, because you already have a personality, like a gregarious personality. And so people will go, oh, yeah, we could add this flavor into the movie. It would be cool. So, you see what I'm saying? So I happen to know that particular thing. If, most actors, they don't come out of the box like with this as a fully fledged individual. Like the people who work really well as character actors are people that you can spend a few seconds with and you go, I know that kind of guy. So that's why I was saying, if it was something that encouraged you, I would say, yeah, you do it. But if it's something that you're not keen on, it's not worth your time.
Well, but the funny thing about it was that I was completely wrong. Because I'm thinking, Mike White, and if I could pursue, I mean, I got to get in, first of all, I got to get in shape. I told you, I'm not going to be a fat old man that can't do things. I wasn't thinking about comedy. It's crazy. I wasn't thinking about that. I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong.
Yeah, it's like there's two schools of thought. I mean, of course you can do fighting stuff, but that's limited. But it's that,
right.
It's just, there's a personality thing. I mean, you've gotten a long way with your personality, period. That's a God-given thing. And so sharing that with the world is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you know this. Was that?
I'm listening.
I don't know if you know this, but Michael Clark Duncan, you know him?
Yeah, big guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan used to crash on my friend Frankie's couch. Frankie used to be super middleweight champion boxer, WBA super middleweight champion for 5 years straight. And he was one of my best friends. And Michael was sleeping on his couch. And every now and then, Michael was he would stay in his storage unit some days. And so we hooked him up at Universal. Well, Frankie hooked him up at Universal because Frankie was a friend of Martin Lawrence's. And he got Michael Clark Duncan a job as a security guard at Universal. And so we all would hang out. And I told Mike, I was like, man, you could do the acting thing. He's like, no, man, that's you and Byron. Byron, who played Bullhorn in Black Dynamite with me. And one day I took Mike against his own will, and I took him and got headshots made. And I stood there. There was a guy named Alan Asher who used to shoot headshots for $48. I made Michael shoot headshots, and I made him pose with one of the pictures with a football, and shirtless with a football. So you can see the difference between the size of a regulation football and him. And then I used my old resume for Mike. I said, nobody's going to care about the resume. I changed one name from Michael White to Michael Duncan. Right? And gave him my old resume. And I swear to you, inside of a month, he got a walk-on role on the Jamie Foxx show. And because he had a personality. And like I said, the only guy near your size is Tiny Lister. And I said, you walk in the room, people are going to go, man, this is a big friendly giant, and they're going to like you. I wasn't wrong. In 5 to 6 months after that time, he got Armageddon with Bruce Willis. And the rest is history. So, so I've been pretty good being able to do that. But, he lived here. We got him the hookups, got him hooked up with a manager and everything else. But that's the thing, I enjoy helping folks out if they really want to do it. But that's a story I'm proud of.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm used to being the person motivating people. I am not used to anybody freaking giving me any freaking ideas. That's an ego thing, and that's wrong. It's completely wrong. Even went back to giving me advice, I was trying to hook him up because that's what I've always been, that freaking person.
Well, you and I are the same. Yeah. I'm very much the same. I don't, like if you give me a compliment, I get shy and I go, oh, thanks, and I just kind of let it go by. I'm not comfortable with people doing for me or giving me
Right, right,
compliments.
right, right.
And that whole thing of like, people, oh, master, this and I'm like, nah, man, it's just Mike. Please don't put me in
Right.
that category. I'm cool. I don't like those things that like kind of tint
I
tease you.
tell you why. Because we've seen people who got souped up in their own head and they messed up. We've
Yeah,
seen
I'm
people
embarrassed
that
by those kind of people. Like people who think that they pee Kool-Aid. I'm like, I feel sorry for these people. You know what I mean? All these grandmasters walking around can't even see their belt. I'm like, nah, man. And I don't want to be comfortable with people like praising me all the time. What's
right.
that? That's
No, the facade is nonsense. It's believe in your own press, and that's that.
yeah.
But at the same time, did you learn how to say thank you?
Mm-hmm.
Because it took me a long time to say thank you. Because the minute someone was trying to give me some type of praise, and I try to redirect it to somewhere else. But sometimes
Yeah.
you
I
just
try
gotta
to
say
remember
thank
to say thank you and then keep it moving. But the
you.
people
Yeah,
I
keep it
still
moving.
look up to, Bill Wallace, Joe Lewis, we was
Oh,
training.
the
These people kept putting it on the floor. Look at Ron Van Cleef. Man, he is doing jujitsu against people a quarter of his age. That's inspiring. That's
That's
what
those are true martial artists, leading by example.
exactly. Like, I'm sorry, I can't give some cat who just wants to, rest on their ego and
Yeah.
laurels. I can't give them the same respect because when
No, they
somebody's
gotta
coming off
earn
their
it.
behind and training, I mean, and look at them, The cats in their 70s they look 30 years younger than they are. You know what I mean?
Listen, you could put
That's what
Joe
I
Cole
want.
in that same thing too. Joe Cole's the same dude also. These guys work out 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 times a week, with or without hip replacements. I mean, Bill Wallace has 2 hip replacements. He's still in a full split, doing seminars, kicking people in the head, going worldwide. And if he couldn't do that, he did a virtual one. Come on.
Right. And then what is he called? Bill.
That's my
Everybody wants to
man.
call him Super Grandmaster Poobah, everything else. Yeah,
Maxwell.
but he calls himself Bill.
Hey, but there's another interesting part. Going back real quick to that scene where you were in timeout, you became a bodyguard real quick. You became a bouncer. And what you and timeout have in common, believe it or not, as teenagers, you was bouncers probably in clubs that you couldn't even get into.
Right. That is a trip. I was such a undercover like kid, like nobody knew. I mean,
Yeah, but because of that, you was also, I believe, how can I say this? Maybe statutory rape because you was a father at 15. I bet you that lady was older than you. Hopefully not too much.
yeah, she was older than me. That's why I didn't get hit with the paternity suit because it would have came back on her in a real bad way. I didn't know. I
Wow.
didn't know what that meant back then. That she could have went to jail for rape. Like, I'm like, that didn't even sound right. It's like, me
What?
raped?
Yeah,
Like,
I had too much fun.
yeah. It's like, oh, poor me.
Yeah, because technically mine was 18 too, and I was 17. So those months would have made a difference in the court of the law.
Yeah. But I
Isn't
got
that
away with everything. Like, I mean, I had 200 students, man, when I was 15, 16 years old. They thought I was
wow?
grown. And I'm hanging out with my students, like these guys are in their 20s. Right now, hopefully they watch this because I think that they must think I'm Satan. Because think about it. I'm 15. They think I'm in my mid to late 20s, right? And so a lot of those guys were in their mid to late 20s. Well, they're in their 60s now. And they're looking at me on movies and going, that guy's my age. So they don't know I was that young. So
That's funny.
I tell you about 4 years ago, a girl that I knew from the time I was 15 to the time I was 17 and went off to college, we had this thing. She was like my Mrs. Robinson, if you know that kind of that reference. kind of like she taught me a lot of the ropes, put it that way. And, you know, she called me her little young buck. She was in her 20s. She didn't know how young I actually was. I never forget. And I used to have this thing, I wouldn't lie to people. I would creatively lie. I remember when she asked me, now, how old are you really? And I said, 15. She said, no, seriously. I said, I'm 15. She's like, okay, come on, be that way. I said, well, no, I'm 21. She said, are you 21? I said, you don't want to believe I'm 15? She's like, oh, you're about to. And so I left it at that. I knew, I told her my real age. No, you know, yeah, I actually lied more. The first time she asked me my age, I said, I'm 13. She said, shut up. I said, I'm 15. So I made it seem like that was bullshit too. So I had an excuse that I said my real age, but I said, well, how old do you think I am? So I was like, we'll go with that. But let me tell you, brother, I reconnected. Like,
you was focused on what you wanted.
I was ghost when I was like 16, 17, went to college, and I was gone for while she moved and everything. We reconnected on Facebook about 4 years ago, talking about old times and everything and catching her up with life. And she was like, there's a big missing space. Like, you know, and I was like, I said, I got to break it to you. I was only 15 when we first hooked up. She's like, no. I had to show her my ID, and because she wasn't going to believe it. She's like, you're lucky you live across the country, because I'll kill you right now. I was like, well, you know, yeah, at least I came clean.
Hey, but you know what? And that's hilarious, because to me, I mean, I'm 54. I think I look pretty young for my age, but then again, it could be me. So when I had, you know, legendary point karate fighter Jesse Thornton and John Chung's older brother Howard Chung in the same month say, hey, we're on the same age, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? Bro, they're 10 years older than me. I'm like, I thought I looked good. You're trying to say that I'm your freaking age? No. It's because you've been around for so long and you had your business together before us that we thought you was older. And I said, okay, so that's the compliment.
Yeah, Bill Wiles, I talked to Bill yesterday. We were talking yesterday. He told me that somebody passed away. Armstrong? I forgot his name, but he's got to come to the funeral. But Bill keeps talking to me like I'm closer to his age. Says, Bill, you know, of course, he knew me when I was 17 and I looked like a grown man, right? And so he says, so-and-so passed, whatever. And I said, I'm not familiar with it. He said, oh, yeah, he won this in 60. He said something about, you know, in 66, I was like, Bill, I wasn't around. I didn't exist yet, man. So I don't know what you're talking about. But I didn't say anything. I was just, you know, I was like, you know, in the 60s, I was like, okay, let me just let this slip by. Because he conveniently forgets. He has no, I mean, for some reason, Bill doesn't register how old I am.
So look at what happened. I saw a video where you did not belong based on your age. But they were acting as if what you just said. And there was Bill Wallace, Benny Akitas and company. I was like, I'm thinking, they don't realize that Mike's younger than me, and I'm too young for that.
Right.
So that still happens now. That same 13-year-old kid still in some circles is get that reputation.
Yeah, and what happened is because I looked older when I was younger. Now I'm older. I looked older when I was younger. Now I look younger when I'm older. So it's because, you know, I'm happy. I think that's the thing.
Right.
You know.
Hey, it's funny because when you was doing that, I'm not sure what live, it might have been IG live, and I popped up, and you know, you gave me, you know, you said I confused you because you don't know if it's 10 years or 20 years ago, or if it's a video now when I'm doing videos because I lost the weight and how long it was.
Weight. Now you look younger, yeah.
But that to me is hilarious because that's the thing that realistically martial arts can do that for you, man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
really
mean, there's a
can.
lot of us martial arts, especially the ones that didn't stop training. It's like a fountain of youth. Yeah, I mean,
And on that note, man, and I'm sure you've been asked this, but just brief on this, only because I remember again about 2 years ago, you had invited me. You said, "Man, come over for 2 weeks. I'll get you in the weight that you want." And I was thinking, "Damn, what the hell is it gonna do to me?" But your nutrition, I noticed, man, you be juicing. You got a whole bunch of stuff that you and Gillian, man, you guys get busy. Is
yeah, man,
that one of the secrets?
dude, it's just a lifestyle, man. It doesn't, I mean, I enjoy my food just like the person that eats at McDonald's. There's no difference.
Right.
I mean, honestly, it's like, it don't take that long for you to change your taste.
No, no,
And,
no.
and actually, when I ate a bunch of the salt and sugar, all you get used to is salt and sugar and fried and everything else like that, right? But when you change and you pull back on that, and after what, at first it sucks, but then after a while, you start being able to taste all kinds of different seasonings, better than, like, I can detect paprika. I can detect all kinds of other spices that I couldn't detect before. Now I enjoy my food on another level. Like, Gillian will cook something with all kinds of intricate spices, or I go to restaurants that really know how to, put things together healthily. And I mean, I enjoy it on that level, man. So, like, if you give me a bunch of, like, you give me some bad food, it's gonna taste bad to me, because I'm gonna taste all the salt. I'm gonna taste that. Oh, they didn't really season anything. They just threw a bunch of grease on this. You know what I mean? And that I'm not going to enjoy it. So it's like, I just wish people understood that you could change your taste, and the fact that you can enjoy everything, even on a stronger level, if you just have the discipline. And that's one of the things that we learn in martial arts. You get the discipline, it's just like, one day you can't touch your toes. You keep going, you're doing a straddle. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. And so it's about just applying your mind to whatever obstacle you got in front of you. That's it.
Hey, giving props to you. You're not. Maybe you will believe this. But going back to our buddy Time Up has always been in shape. We've never caught Time Up out of shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, "Why the hell you with in freaking shape?" He said, "I don't know when I'm gonna get that call," which is interesting. Right? So he always had to be in shape just in case he got that call, so to speak, which I thought was fascinating. But just so you know, Time Up and I have been friends since 1980 again. And in 1985, he exposed me to what would have been what was allowed by the federal government in food. Time Up is a freaking scientist when it comes to food, just so you know. 1988, I stopped eating red meat, pork, anything. Chicken every once in a while. But it was because of Time Up. And a few years ago, he said to me, it's sad that people do not know what good food tastes like because they're
Well,
eating nothing but chemicals and etc.
yeah. Well, a lot of people don't eat food. I'm willing to say that. There's a lot of stuff that, okay, if something is 51% something else, that's what it is. There's a lot of things that are not over 50% food. I mean, it's like, okay, just common sense. You make a potato and you sit it out. In a day, it's bad. You eat a French fry that's been made a month ago.
And
You
let's
think
just
that's
say,
real food? It's not food. It's like, there's so much stuff, potato chips, all that. That's not food. It's a chemical. There's so many things. Like, just cook something. If you fry a potato and make a potato chip, leave it out. What happens in a day? So if this bag of potato chips that you had that was made, what do you think it was made? Yesterday? No. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, even sometimes people think they're eating healthy. Oh, here's some cold cuts, right? Here's some sliced cold cuts from the deli. Okay. Oh, 100% like chicken breast or turkey breast. Turkey breast. A slice of turkey breast that I can go like this and wiggle it, and then it won't come apart. Okay, how does turkey taste? It's dry. It's brittle. You can't do that. What makes you think that that's food anymore? It's not even food. It's some gelatinous thing that they put together that has maybe 3% turkey in it. There's no more turkey in that. Besides, they cut it off a hunk of meat about this big. There's not that much meat on a turkey. That's all from a mashed up gooey thing. That's from a vacuum form of this like liquid that they put in shapes and then they have the nerve to put artificial fat around it. It didn't come off a pterodactyl. You know, I don't have that much meat on me to make that. So you think a chicken or a turkey does? That you're slicing? That's not food anymore. Turkey is dry. That, what you're eating is salty. All this is a preservative. So like, just when people just think about it, it's like, are you really eating food or are you not? Most of the times people are not, I'm not talking about bad food. I'm talking about legitimate food, stuff that is really, because a lot of it's not food. You know?
It's even in the fruit. Like when someone says to me, "Oh, I just had a grape," I say, "Wait a minute, that's not a grape. Why? There's no seasoning. That's a Frankenstein. I just had watermelon. Well, there's no season that. That's another hybrid, or I should say, what would be genetically modified. That's another confusing thing too. People think they're eating. There's different levels.
But there's different levels, but at least it looks like what it's supposed to be. But I'm just talking about, you should eat something that looks like what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
A better actor.
Yeah, even if you're eating a piece of chicken, let it look like a piece of chicken. You know, it should not look like a round, flappy thing. Like it can't be that. If it's a potato,
You know what breaks my heart? When I look at children, look at what happens with children. They say, if you eat your Happy Meal, we're gonna give you some ice cream. And now the children scientifically have been proven, or they predict that the children will not live as long as their parents now because of all the processed foods they've been having since the day they were born.
Yeah, well, in this country, we poison our citizens and get away with it because money just rules. I mean, do you understand that even Nestle and like chocolate companies make two different products? Like if you have one bar that they make for the United States and they have another bar that they make for overseas, because overseas
won't stand it. They will not take it.
They won't stand for it. You have to have real milk chocolate. But our own, in our own country, that stuff's not milk chocolate. It's not real.
It's for lobbyists.
Yeah.
Lobbyists.
Yeah, man. Like, it's crazy. You go to the international market and get the same bar that you would get from 7-Eleven. It tastes completely different.
Yeah. Well, it's a sad thing. Hey, listen, so if you don't mind, man, I know you don't normally like to talk about it, man, but I do want to talk about Sudden Impact, man, because that movie has made it into a top 10, and I've been bragging about it in recent days. You know that I've been texting you, yo, man, and I know you don't respond to that because that's not that important to you, but, bro, it's in the top 10 Netflix. That's huge.
Oh, you mean Welcome to Sudden Death?
Come on, man.
You mean Welcome to Sudden Death? Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was a fun movie. It's a kind of more of a family-friendly movie, which I was happy to do. Stepping into my, I guess, more of the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson type of stuff. You know that stuff goes a long way when I'm able to play the husband and father, which is closer to who I really am. So, that's a pleasure to do that. I'm fusing all the things I enjoy. So yeah, I'm just happy that it's been doing as well as it is.
but having some insight and me seeing the movie, I'm saying, wait a minute, but his real wife is there. But if she would have been playing his wife, she wouldn't have not got a chance to hit you in the chest and him in the face.
True.
So I'm sure she enjoyed
Well,
that.
here's one thing that people don't know. She was cast before me. She was in the movie before me. And she got her husband.
Gillian is hot right now. She's been doing some stuff, baby.
Yeah, she got her husband in the movie because the director is somebody she went to school with and she worked on another project with before. And so Gillian was one of the first people that he hired. And she wanted to play that role. You know, she was connected before me. And so many people think, oh, he got his wife in the movie. No, she got me in the movie.
I remember you wrote about that about 2 years ago, give and take, when you guys were practicing the fight scenes outside, and you were saying that, you know, she's the one that got in first. Because, guys, for whatever it's worth, I do get a few insights because Gillian is pretty active on social media, especially Facebook, a little more active than you are at times. But man, I'm so happy for her because I know that she enjoyed the crap out of that. She enjoyed the crap out of kicking you in the chest.
Yeah, I mean, she's been training with me for like damn near 7 years, like, and I got her, like, you know, the fact that I would keep her away from other students, you know, it was kind of like a grand experiment. Like, I let her push herself, and she don't know any better, right? So I'm like, you know, I'm training, and we're doing things like, okay, I want you to go hook kick, axe kick. That ain't easy, but she don't know it's not easy.
Right. Unconscious and confident makes it work.
Yes, she don't know that. And I'm going, okay, double up on that hook kick, then go to the axe kick. And, you know, she's doing it. And then I'm like, note to self, get some time to practice that your damn self to see if you can do it, you know? Yeah, so I'm like, I mean, I pull a hamstring doing that shit.
Twice. 2 times. Hook kick, the second kick, and the axe.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, just note to self, let me practice, because I could see that she is able to do it. And so she doesn't have any parameters. She doesn't have any, like, reason that she can't do certain things.
Yeah, but she also trusts you. She also trusts you. She trusts you and listens to what you're saying. Plus, for whatever's worth, guys, this lady got some skills on the basketball. She could sing, she could dance, she's an athlete, she's everything. I mean, let's keep it real.
Yeah. And I never taught her how to pull punches, man, which was a little dangerous for me. Because I'm telling her, every time, like from day one, when I have her hitting the pads, it's like, baby, slow up. Let's get the technique. Boom! Baby, slow. There's plenty of time to throw the power in there. Let's work the technique first. And so when she got the technique down, turn those hips right and everything else, and then she let the power go, it's like, boom! Like, I'm like, if she hit somebody, man, she's gonna destroy them. She don't hit like a girl. She don't hit like, I mean, I have trained with badass, like, hard-hitting girls, like, you know, like Lucia Riker, people like that, man.
Oh.
And I'm like, Gillian has that kind of pop. And so I'm like, oh, I don't want to slow her down. She goes from 0 to 100 immediately. So we're practicing. And there's times where, you know, a lot of times I work on, you know, slipping and stuff. So it's second nature. But there's times where she'd be like, boom, boom, and that fist would be right. And I'm like, no, you remember, it's to the body. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, she would have mashed my nose up. Like, so I'm thinking, like,
Bust the grill.
Yeah, it's like, I haven't taught her how to not hit hard or to control it, right? Because my thing is, we're training, it's like, yo, somebody steps to you, she's got that, you know, like, I'll rip your face off, like, type of thing.
Again,
so
it goes back to your mother, making sure you got home safe, making sure you're tough enough. And we're living during some hard times for real, man. You got children, you got man.
She don't know how to hit soft. You know what I mean? Because for years, I'm like, bam, like, throw that boom. So everything is like hard. So I'm like, do I try to get her to slow up, or do I just deal with it? And just, you know, because there's times where she hits me, I'm like, damn, like, you know what I mean? But I don't want to.
I heard you complain about her kicking you in your chest, and I was like,
Well,
Ladies and
that's
gentlemen,
okay.
we have a special report. Michael John White just got knocked out by his wife, Gillian, in the middle of a fight scene, and we're here live.
But in the movie, I had to wear the pad. I had a chest pad because it's like, hey man, if she cracks my rib, I got to do the rest of this movie, you know. So you could kind of tell on some of the pictures that like I got a pad on. You know, I'm like, nah, she got like a boot. I'm not having it because she don't know how to hit soft. So once that fight scene was done, I was like happy.
So Gillian's a Brute by Fabergé.
yeah. She, man. Yeah, we train together. The whole pads for her. See what I'm talking about. You be like, man, if she hits somebody, they're done.
Hey, brother, listen, I'm gonna thank you for spending your time. I know you're getting ready to go to the gym, and I know we had a little mess up over here in the Zoom. But man, if you wouldn't mind, I called you I texted you today. You got back to me today because people who are successful take action immediately with no excuses. Would you attest to that?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And plus, hey, you know, it's like I wasn't all that close to family. I've been on my own since I was 14. My friends are family to me. And so I would do whatever I can to help them out instantly. So me putting some other stuff on the back burner, being able to reach out and do this with you, that's just how, that's how it's supposed to be.
You know the feeling is mutual, brother, because it's exactly the same exact thing. There is a real deal family, not relatives, family bond in friends sometimes, but also martial arts. And we have a lot of things in common. I mean, I think we've had a lot of moments that are some funny freaking moments. Not a lot of time because they've been spread out, but it doesn't matter. In the second, now I remember you making a phone call to me when you were getting ready to come to New York when I was in New Jersey, and you found out something while you were in Connecticut about 2 years ago that blew you away because for whatever it's worth, my grandson is 7 years old. And when you made that phone call to me, I was like, wow, this is like something you would tell to a real brother,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of you having a child being born, so to speak. So yeah. I appreciated that because that was a scoop if I was one of these reporters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, man, bro, just like always, man, I from the bottom of my heart, man, I know the feelings mutual, man, but I respect you and I appreciate you. And if you don't mind for us to structure this another one in the future, because I'm happy that you said something today that no one, guys, you heard it here. Two of my brothers from the martial arts have a strong possibility of being able to do some work together. And that is so freaking cool. I pray for that to happen in more ways than one. And if it's meant to be, because Time Out is our brother. There's no way around it.
Yeah, that's why I called you before I called him.
Yeah.
And if we're concerned or whatever, we talk to each other first, and because that's the way it is. That's always the way I'm going to be. I spoke to you before I spoke to him.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, just so you know what happened to me in a nutshell, I say when things happen like that now, even I know, but everyone's self-esteem has been eradicated at different times in their life. And we forget that our friends might be in positions of leadership and power, but they're just our friends because the general public may not communicate with you like that. So out of nowhere, when I think about, wow, you know what? Like my student, Fabian Carrillo. I have a student named Fabian Carrillo. Right? He did a movie years ago called The Lion Dragon. And, it was interesting seeing the movie about 20-something years ago. And he's been really successful in business. So he called me the other day, we're speaking, and he said something to me that was hilarious. And it was just based on our standards. He said, man, I didn't need Tony Robbins. I had you. And I was like, what? You know, Tony's my man, multi-billionaire. You know, we did a lot of work in the early 90s together. Unlimited Power, you know, I won Mr. Master in Hawaii. For him to tell me that was kind of surreal to me because this guy's been very successful in the business world. And for him to say to me, and it's true, you know, we were together, you got to win grand champion, have another freaking trophy because we got to win, plus we got to get home with the money. I mean, going way back when. Yeah. So, Mike, man, hey, any last thing? Is there anything else that you would like to share in terms of 2020 through the pandemic, looking forward to future projects? And bro, you've been busy before, during, and after this thing, man. So we're talking about blessings. Sometimes you're the director, sometimes you're just the actor, sometimes your wife hooked you up, but you do not have any limitations.
Yeah, man. There's some really strong things happening that it's a little too early to talk about. But I've got a lot of. I mean, I think the best is yet to come. I've got, I believe it's 6 projects that are coming out that's completed. So and some really important business deals coming up. So, you know, I'll let you know because, I mean, anytime you want me to, you know, come back on, all you got to do is call me, man.
Yeah, well, I will do that. Hey, this is the funny part. The funniest video I saw you in, knowing you, was when they made you a king in Ghana, and I'm looking at your face, brown.
Yeah.
And then they were tucking your top in, and
I think you know me. Dude, that was the last thing I expected. I felt like I was being pranked.
Yeah,
it was very real.
Like that.
You know, because even though I'm an actor and everything, I get shy when I'm when I'm like the.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know.
Like that. And so, especially when I'm not ready for it, you know, making me royalty, you know, like. That freaked me out, but a lot of things like that freak me out in Africa because I don't. One problem is, you know, I never made a big deal out of people being actors and everything, so I don't think it's a big deal. Other people do.
Right.
I don't think about, oh, somebody might know me from movies or whatever. In fact, it almost gets me in trouble. Like, cause I mean, I was in Whole Foods and this security guard, a cop, is like looking at me, and I'm like, what is this guy's problem?
It's rolling up on me.
I go around one way, and he seems like he's like shadowing me. Then I turn back and go the other way, and then he turns back. I'm like, man, I get my phone ready, and I'm gonna start recording this because I'm gonna go off on this guy for, like, you know, profiling me, right? So I go down this other aisle, and he goes down the other side of the aisle. And I got my phone all ready to, like, record him. And he goes, hey, man, are you Michael Jai White? And I'm like, I say, yeah. He says, I was wondering if that was you. And he goes, yeah, I was wondering if that. I said, well, you look like Michael Jai White, but he looks younger because I know he did Spawn. He should look older than that. And, you know, so he was all complimentary about, I didn't think that was you. I was like, God, man, I'm out here just thinking I'm about to go off.
Bro, you still from Brooklyn, that's why.
And, you know, I'm like, I'm in Whole Foods. You think I'm here trying to steal something? You know what I mean? Because, of course, she's looking at me like, you know, and so I don't think I'm a star. I don't think about, oh, he's a fan. It doesn't occur to me. You know what I mean? You know, so, I mean, you know, one of the first times we in my life went,
no, straight up. That's the reason why you get a lot of blessings too. Again, there's no doubt about it, guys. Let me tell you something. From what I know, you earn things, and you earn it by doing a combination of things. I'm sure you visualize. I'm sure, like, you know the best is yet to come. You don't wish the best is yet to come. You prayed upon it and you visualize it and you see it. There's a frequency that people are on that are negative, and there's the frequency that people are on that are positive, and we'll just leave it at that. There's no way in life that you can tell me that things really do surprise you, because some of the things don't surprise you because you envisioned it way back when. whether it was being Toxic Man
Yeah.
or or anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, man. I never think about it, and I don't change much about my life, man. In fact, when you talk about toxic, uh, uh, the the person that my best friend from Toxic Avenger first movie is waiting on me right now because that's who's going to the gym with me.
Oh,
And,
right. So
and
listen,
say hello to Benny Nieves.
Benny, yeah, man, that's my man. What's up, Benny? It's been a long time. Oh man, that's my
Yeah,
man.
that's
We
Jerry.
back in Nels now.
Jerry, what's up?
Jerry
Jerry Headbutt.
Headbutt. What do you call him?
Jerry Headbutt.
Headbutt. That sounds like a story. Did you headbutt something?
Hey, listen, I was hanging out with his brother. Tell him I hung out with his brother last year too.
You remember that, Jerry?
He said, "Do you remember that?"
That's my man, bro.
And Nels.
Yeah, of course, because what happened was my ex-wife and Mel's was being accosted by some dudes, and I didn't want security to get in trouble, so I headbutted him.
You know, so that's how you got the name
headbutted that
Jerry
dude.
Headbutt.
Yo, Mike, I had to get him. I didn't want security. My student, Jeff McGuire and Benny and the rest of the crew at Mel's were my boys, right? They were doing security. And at the time, my fiance, was my ex-wife, was being her.
Uh-oh. Oh,
For a second.
you blanked out for a second.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. So anyway, so the bottom line was that I didn't want these guys to get in trouble, but I still had to get him. So instead of punching him, I went, yo, what? And I cracked him with that headbutt. And that's why Benny remembers that. Oh my God, it's so funny. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know.
But bro, so hey, as I told you, I'm gonna.
Using your head, bro. You were just using your head.
Yeah, he said you were using your head. So Jerry, I got to run because he's here to pick me up. We're gonna hit the gym. Like I said, like everything is like I said, I keep everything simple. I mean, Benny and I, how long do we go? Like 30 some odd years? How many?
32 years.
32 years.
Not that I'm
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's crazy. Last thing I want to say, and remember, I introduced you to Fitz Cortez, who was a taxi driver in Toxic Avenger, and we did that picture a few years ago, because that's how small the world is, man.
That's a small world, because he was talking about Toxic Avenger, and I was telling him that's how we met on Toxic Avenger in '87. 87.
Wow.
It's almost 33 years, brother.
Anyway.
Yep. All right.
Anyway, listen, Benny, but listen, when I get out there to
Ask him what? Hold on a second.
If he knows Joe Craig.
Oh, yeah, of course he knows Joe Craig. You remember Joe Craig, right? Yeah, you must have did contact against him.
Yeah, man. Joe. You remember him from all
Joseph Craig was one of the baddest dudes, man. He was down with freaking Henry Choles, too. He did the Goju and everything, but Joseph Craig was doing the freaking flexible as hell, doing the high kick. Oh, come on.
Straight up kicks, yep. Yeah, Joe Craig was out here for a while. We were all working out together.
Yeah, the same thing with what's his name, Lewis Morales, not Luis Morales. No, wait, I'm going blank. Eddie.
Look. Jerry
Morales.
is an encyclopedia. I mean, he remembers everything. But look.
Yeah, man. I'm impressed, brother. I'm impressed.
Yeah, but look, we got to get it in, man. I'm gonna hit this gym, man. So, bro.
All right, man. Hey, God bless. We'll be talking, and I'm gonna shoot out there sooner than later, man. So I can get tortured too. Take you out,
man. Take care.
On that. All right, God bless. Thank you.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.